Hi guys, Nityanandam. So today I just wanted to come on, and as you guys know, I have conversations with God all of the time, and so I thought I'd just begin to post um, some of those conversations and what it means to me, and hopefully you guys will share what it might mean to you in your life, or just to get on and talk and hope that it touches someone's life in an amazing way. So, as I have these conversations, I do write them down and just for my own remembrance, and then now to share them with you and hopefully start a conversation about life and what life really means, and why we're here and why you think we're here. Um, how to live blissfully through every day that we're here. Um, so every day I'm just going to come, I'll just read what I wrote and then my thoughts on it. And then hopefully it reaches you, and you guys will comment on it. We'll just start a dialogue about life and the conversations that we have with God. Um, so the first, well, today, and I've been gathering these for many years, and so just decided to share them now on this platform. So I'm just going to start from the top. Every day I have enough probably for years and years to come, and that the conversations with God continue, or as I call my God, Shiva, Swamiji. They continue daily, so it's a never-ending river that will go on and on. So uh, I have these conversations with my husband all of the time, and I thought I'd start to share it with the world, and hopefully make an impact, make a difference. Also wanted to just do something different. I'm not here to show you my house or show you how terrific my life is or show you how bad my life is or show you my kids or what they've done or any of that. Show you my dogs. I'm just here to start a dialogue so that we can fulfill the journey that we were placed here to fulfill. And if some of that comes in, I guess naturally, that's okay. But there's enough on social media about, how great our lives are and how great our marriages are and how great our kids are. And we're just living this beautiful life. And that's fine. So this is just real about, you know, that those times when you're just sitting down and just questioning your life, questioning what is life about, maybe in your happiest moments, um, or maybe in your not so happy moments. So yeah, so life, like my channel says, just talking to God, just me talking to God, and now sharing with you. So the first one is, I'm going to read them as they come to me. Life is like musical chairs. Sit for a minute, then up. The music starts playing, and up you go. And so I have a note here that when the music starts playing again and you're up and you're running, that's typically some type of change that has happened in our life. So, in my 60 years, I've just learned that life is never constant. So, um, you know, one of the greatest movies that I've seen in my life, and I've seen a few, but this one was surprisingly stuck with me, is if you ever saw the Disney movie Life of Pi. And he found himself in a very, very precarious, dangerous situation, with lions and different dangerous animals, which is the things that come up in our lives, representative of the things that come up in our lives. And he struggled and he struggled and he fought and he fought and he fought his way. He was trying to fight his way home, and he fought his way to finally made it to this island that he thought was his, that he had made it to peace. And it was beautiful and it was abundant in food, because while he was out and going through his struggles, he was sometimes without food or questioning where his food source was going to be. But he's landed on this beautiful land that was full of greenery and beauty and ocean, which is God in water form, and just peaceful. And then something happened. I can't remember what, but it became unsettled again after he was settled. And he still needed to make it home, but he was actually he finally had found peace there, but he still hadn't reached his final journey. And then some upset happened, and he hit this whole peaceful place that he had found. He had to leave. So in other words, God said, it's time to continue on your journey. This is your rest, but it's time to continue. And it's just a really good movie. And he didn't really want to leave. He was comfortable. So it's kind of that kind of a thing. Like, we adapt to change, and we run around and we are responding to change and responding to what we sometimes call attacks on our life, just stuff in your health, wealth, and relationships. Take your pick. And we're running around, that's when the music is playing and you're trying to find that resting place. You're trying to find that seat. And then the music stopped playing and you finally sit down and you're like, oh, right? But guaranteed that the music is going to start playing again, and you're going to be up again running that race, responding to that life. Because what I've learned and had to learn is that we're not here to rest. Rest is the final rest is when we know we're no longer breathing. So when you accept the fact that the music is going to start playing again, even though that seat is comfortable, you're not competing with anyone, you're not worried about anyone else, you just finally get a seat. And sometimes when we get that seat, we want to stay there because it's comfortable. We're like, we know that isn't our final destination, but we finally found rest. Our thoughts have finally stopped and we're finally at peace. But eventually, to move you to where you are supposed to be, whether you're conscious of it or not conscious of it, to move you towards the purpose of why you're here, God is going to start playing that music again, and you're going to be running or rocking around in circles frantically. The better that you're able to walk that circle, the happier you will be. So walking the circle, getting up and walking to the music is inevitable. That's representative of change. It's coming. The challenges are coming, the attacks are coming, the uncertainties are coming. So you're going to be walking that circle. Sometimes we're so busy trying to get back to that old chair that was so comfortable that we miss the fact that there's a throne ahead if we just keep walking the circle in grace, right? So when God revealed that to me, I would say the message is change is inevitable. Change is not comfortable. When I say change, that encompasses attacks, what we see as attacks, because they're actually placed there as a favor from God. But it doesn't feel like that, trust me. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that. But but the more that we can in grace walk that walk, while the music's playing, the change is happening, the uncertainty is happening, and knowing that it is inevitable and there to propel you towards a greater place. Typically, it's not for you to take that same seat again, right? Because usually where you land when you're walking around in musical chairs, if you stay in the race, which you have to, right? So we all want to drop out of the race, but when you stay in the race, the chair that you end up in the next time or the last time, if you win the game, is typically not the same chair, right? Until they take all the chairs away, and if you win, then you're really on the throne, right? So how we walk that walk is so important as to how we view life and how we live life and how happy we are and how blissful we are. Because if every time something happens, we panic, we question God, we don't know what to do, we're confused, we're thrown off, we fall into a depression, we just can't handle it. You know, these are the things we tell ourselves, the harder it's going to be. But if it comes to you and you say, okay, and I always say, don't answer any attack immediately, right? Just say, okay, and let it sit for a while. Let it sit for 24, 48, 72 hours. If you just let it sit and talk to God, and the answer will come. But we are so adverse to pain that we want it to be over, and so we jump in right away and we try to solve it. We try to take the pain away. Sometimes that makes it worse. Most times that makes it worse. The other thing is to temper those uncertainties and those attacks. Keep yourself in prayer every day, even when things are going exactly the way you think they should be going, or maybe they're just okay with you. Keep yourself in prayer. Don't wait until the music starts playing and you're going around in circles to pray, because you're not really thinking clearly. Now you're in fear, right? Now you're in fear, you're in greed, and your will is just scattered all over the place. Will meaning your prayer, your conversation with God. So be proactive, like you do, like hopefully you do with your health. Be proactive in your prayer and pray every day, even when things are going great. Talk to God like you would talk to your friend. Let him know what you desire, how you're feeling. If you're angry, you can be angry with God. If you're frustrated, you can be frustrated with God. But stay prayed up. So when stuff does happen, he already knows your name. You talk to him every day. He's like, oh, that's Charmaine. I talk to her every day. You know what I mean? So, let me take these off. So, that's it. And so when I say that life is like musical chairs, that's what I mean. So that is it for today. I open always with Nityanandam. Nityanandam just means eternal bliss. And I end with Nityanandam, and that means eternal bliss, because I wish everyone eternal bliss. And we're gonna figure this out together. So I'd like to hear from you and see what you guys are doing out there and how you're feeling out there, and how the relationship that you have with God. I love hearing stories about miracles, how God showed up in your life in different forms and ways. So let's open the dialogue. There's a lot of conversation about a lot of things, and these days, but God is still in control. So let's talk about him. We could talk about your frustrations with God, what you might not understand. We could talk about your peace with him, just everything. He wants to hear what you have to say. So I'm just a vessel. And, it took a lot of burning to form this vessel. But again, I'm 60 years old. And so this is how I want to spend the rest of my life here, which is which is going to be another 60 years. And so let's do it together and stop giving all that other stuff a lot of our attention and focus on the one who's running it anyway. All right, Nityanandam.